this attack's going to be. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need to get those frags.
And on the other hand, for ZETA too, I mean, this composition is just what DRX did before in the past. So going in on the defense now, already committing the high tide. It blocks off. It kind of pushes Global Esports into A, where, well, Laz is kind of hiding and waiting. The turret is up and ready. Russ is kind of tagged up by the decay of the toxic screen. But wow, we're just setting up for retakes. We're trying to use the lineup, but it doesn't quite connect.
Yep. Very fast flank, though. Now, they were spotted. GE knows they have to push out, and Povi's going to open things up.
Okay, Povi's always good for some shots. Gets the first one, now wraps back around screens. He wants to hold this position, because if he does, then it holds ZETA up for just another second. Laz, though, up around the rafters side. He goes back down and picks off Russ. And here comes Depp from the top now. Sugar Zero landing some shots. A bit of a distraction. It allows for the rest of ZETA to corral and push up into the site. Blaze King able to get one, but not for long until Laz takes him out. ZETA with the pistol.
I mean, that hop over from Depp is one thing, but something else you're noticing here on that retake. So ZETA commits to the retake early on. Obviously, the back out of A site. Once the flank is up, then Laz suddenly says, you know what, we don't want to push in from Rasters just yet because they're going to consider pushing out, especially once Povi gets the first kill. So he just wants to stay alive. Now it's the main force that pushes back in, makes an opening for Laz. Lots of good bouncing back and forth, and of course, clean shots from Sugar Zero as well. Another pistol on the board here in the very first round for ZETA.
Very nice and tempered kind of aggression. But Povi with the
Force
outlaw
again.
now, wow.
Another force.
Well, let's see what he can do with it. I mean, I don't mind a force if it works, right?
Here.
So,
Yeah, you got the plant. You got the outlaw. I mean, that's another weapon you have to consider for force buys now. Doesn't want to show that he has it. And
well, a bit of noise. It just makes Laz think for a second. Did they go under the two? But, well, guess not. It's going to be Povi with the shot onto Laz instead. Clean head tap. And that weakens mid. With that now, a rotation pulled over from Hirodon, and it's going to be Global Esports slowly creeping up towards A.
yeah, and the thing is now you don't have the Killjoy either, so a lot of that retake capability of clearing out corners with something like the Nano Swarm no longer an availability.
Well, similar from before, they let them have the site. Trying to spray, but still, Spike plant goes down.
Planted.
Fast is watching the flank. It's a force buy, and ZETA knows that, so the weaponry not necessarily in their favor.
Although, Povi is still favoring this outlaw. Third shot, fourth! Goes in for the reload. A blinded Depp tries to hop over to stay alive, but then Russ just guns him down with the stinger.
4 shots, 4 kills for Povi with the new weapon. The outlaw doesn't need to fire twice to get a shot if it's always a headshot. Great showing from the duelist pickup for Global Esports.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh my god. Had the angle from the window?
Oh, that was okay. He was already damaged up. And that's, again, one of the strengths of the Outlaw as well. Good pop flash from Russ, too.
Can re-peek just as quick. That is lovely. As we move forward into the next round now, of course, economy for ZETA not going to look too great. Povi just looking to sound off even more shots. A bit of information being retrieved by Blaze King, and it pushes ZETA back.
Honestly, I think this is the best gun to give off warning shots in Valorant.
Yeah.
It's very loud. The base is very deep.
And it just instills fear.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how much space they got off of that warning shot.
It's almost scarier than an operator when you just listen to it.
Welcome to the Wild West, buddy. Annyeonghaseyo. Asteroid's going to appreciate that one. Anyway, toxic screen down, and it's going to be Global Esports just trying to play it safe because they know that any of these pistols could be lurking right around the corner. Benkai getting caught out by Depp. Not what you want to have happen as Depp picks up that Spectre.
Yeah, with that snake bite down, they know that Russ not quite waiting in the default position. Laz a great shot, and so is Uran. I mean, they're all peeking out at the same time. 1 shot, 1 kill.
I need to see their POV on that one. Now it's going to be lightning fast with nothing but a stinger, 4 barrels staring down right at him.
30 seconds left.
Goes in for a big of a quick peek, takes down the first player, tucks back around, 20 seconds remaining, and he has to kind of either go in for, well, at this point, you just kind of got going for all the kills.
And this is one of those situations where, I mean, sure, you had one outlaw, but you've got these stingers in hand. And when it comes to the B site, I mean, you're not the one with the Harbor. Those Sheriffs are going to be just as strong, if not stronger. The problem being, Benkai, I believe, was also picked off in the middle of the round, so not much of a chance to rotate to A, and things fall apart. They already had to commit to the plant. They fake it off the snake bite, try to draw them out into closer range, and they're just prepared. Wow. I mean, this just about shuts down everything. This is why they commit to the B site. The peaks right as the screens go down. Very well done from ZETA Division.
Does give you an idea of what both teams are capable of. Benkai sometimes looking for these lurks, but at the same time, my goodness, those peaks from ZETA Division. So Eco off of Ecos, we got the thrifty win right back in. And now ZETA's got the rifles, and is that an outlaw and hero run? It's going to be a full buy from Global Esports though, but some half armor.
Yeah, so ZETA's trying to make this back into their bonus, right? Picking up the weapons that their opponents dropped in that last round. We'll see. I mean, because they have the capabilities.
Oh, just a bit of a swing though.
Tagged up.
Even more tags, and now lightning fast, proving that he is that dreamer from South Asia. Peeks out, picks up the triple, and all of a sudden ZETA Division are left wanting more.
And this type of turning up the tempo, this is going to benefit GE a lot, right? Because given their compositions, given their tendencies, a lot of people are going to start to assume, okay, you're going to wait to creep up, go for a set play. It's things like these deep lurks, and these other ideas, the different tempos that really start to play a macro game of Valorant against your opponents.
Yeah, because it's just like, you had a bit of pressure towards B from earlier on, and then you also always thinking Benkai might lurk around corners sometimes, and we can't just always leave Depp to deal with him. Meanwhile, on the other hand, off of the next round, Global Esports just goes in for that mid play, and that's something that ZETA, hasn't really defended all too well. Remember the previous round where Polvi picked up that quad kill. So, ZETA has a bit of thinking to do.
And I like that Lightning Fast just commits early towards screens as well, right? Because you can't really lurk as efficiently into Kitchen anymore with that window available. His team already creeping up into the site. They make the call, of course, as they're jumping in with the drone that, okay, site is empty, so Lightning Fast knows.
That was
that
John
means...
Wick behavior, okay? That was John Wick behavior.
John Wick. Oh, right. I mean, it was a Vandal. It wasn't quite a pistol that we're looking at, but it was a great lurk there. Gets the 444 himself.
Very nicely done. Now we've got Polvi on the Blade Storm. And they're looking to open things up towards A. ZETA definitely wanting to back off of this. But what's curiouser is Lightning Fast with this lurk up around Hut.
Oh, he's buying so much time in Benkai.
Oh no.
Benkai with the backup comes out from the other side of the map.
Things just start to fall apart for ZETA Division. Not getting the right reads, peeking into lurks. And at the same time, not quite able to make this retake happen just yet. I think they're opting for that save, but while you're going for that, Lightning Fast is trying to hunt you down. Wow, okay, that's John Wick behavior.
I mean, he's going deep. He's going on a solo mission, just pick up frags. He needs 2 more. If he gets 1 and dies, he still gets a Viper's Pit as well. It's not a bad shout. It's 1. I mean,
now,
eco damage already done.
Just falls back, allows for Polvi, who is on the Blade Storm, to go for a little bit more. Just now playing off of the teammates to check. They want to take those guns away. All right, now we've lost a plot. It's time to save.
Yeah, we got mighty close to that lockdown here from Laz as well. But hey, damage done to the economy a little bit. Viper's Pit also picked up by Lightning Fast. I think you see it on his face, like, okay, maybe that was a little bit too much, right? Once we didn't get the counter peak, but the teammates are there as well, and that's something they're going to notice with Global Esports, is that obviously this team, the comms are good. They're all players who are used to calling and sharing ideas, leading the team in one way or another. Lightning Fast enjoying the time on the stage. He talked about how he...
Bit of that Vandal play, but they got to stay hidden well enough to make it happen. Global Esports maybe anticipating such a push as well, so just creeping up onto A site. The 0 point clears out the entire thing. Nobody's here. We get a free plant.
Yeah, now okay, site's empty again. Surely it's another retake coming in from both sides of the site. Polvi, that did hurt a bit more than you wanted.
Still good for the time being. He manages to hold his position and, crucially, this angle on towards Rafters, because that's where Laz wants to be.
And Zeta, this time they're not flanking early, right? They're just putting that pressure in that this is what we always do. They're looking to go in with the main force.
Oh, trying to switch things around, but still Polvi holds his ground, manages to gun down 2. A bit of a flank coming through, but not quite for long. Lightning Fast trades out depth. And then comes Huron from the front. Null Command sussed out position. But
Cove
then
is
you
ready.
still got to deal with Benkai and Lightning Fast. I don't know how much the Cove can do because they haven't quite tapped the spike yet.
Yeah.
Those lineups, they are making it work. Huron able to pick up one more, but then that's about it. Sugar Zero running away, holding onto the rifle. It's Global Esports 4-2.
Yeah, and the KO utility coming in handy as well. Obviously, Zeta Division not able to activate their abilities for a long time. They had to fight through that retake. Couldn't set up for something like a Cove, stick the half, and pressure a little bit further against the attacking team. I mean, Polvi getting those first 2 kills as well. You love the energy from this team. I mean, surely they will continue to release some comms throughout the year, and it is great to listen. They've got such good energy across the board.
2 names really stand out right now, Lightning Fast and Polvi. The snake bite, the opening frags. What more could you want? Zeta is the one that has to catch up to it, and right now they're trying to put up the roadblock up around pipes. Laz able to get the first one, but not for long until Huron arrives. Guns down with a bit of a lineup on towards Russ, and then picks up the third onto Lightning Fast. Blaze King cannot do all too much now as he's up on top of Nest.
I mean, this crazy aggression from Zeta. Laz pushing out all the way up front, and then Depp just trying to bounce around and draw all eyes on him. He dashes out, and they just do not suspect yet another member like Huron hiding right around the corner. Able to hold his aim for a triple. That should stabilize things. That's a 4th kill as well for Huron. Climbing right back into the game. Hunter's Fury available for him to counter out and maybe push them back out in the next round too.
Now we can play retake. Still though.
I mean, this is just, they got a sight of him, but at that point it was a little too late. He was so ready for it too. I mean, the first double kill, very good discipline. And these are the moments we saw from him in just a couple rounds during the offseason as well. Very sharp shooting when he's in the zone.
That's what we need to see from Zeta as well. I mean, you got to fight fire with fire sometimes, and maybe the answer was just to really get a good read for where Global would push out and then to peek off against that. But here it comes now. Off of those wins from before, Global picks up the operator. Polvi is in a damn good position. Here's the Aldrin, wants to shoot it down, but nothing doing for the time being.
Yeah, Zeta heard the op too, though, right? That's why they're not giving him the time of day. They just say, keep him trapped in mid. We've still got utility from Killjoy to get information to hold a little bit of time. B, you've still got the double controllers, the patience coming in handy, but problem being, they haven't ever retaken under tube or into tube. So this is something that Zeta will have to keep in mind of the entire time.
Just trying to stay hidden. They don't want to give out too much. And meanwhile, for Global Esports, they've managed to get openings before because they always put a bit of pressure, and with mental conditioning, they pull some of these defenses away. But this time, without the opening pick that Polvi was definitely looking for, they're going to take a little bit of time. There's 30 seconds left, Will.
Yeah, they have to go in. There's the alarm bot. Now you know what's coming through.
Oh.
And Swarm does enough damage.
And a snake bite on the other side.
You have enough time to rotate if you go now, but they're not going to.
Gotta commit, and it is time, but Laz just stops you in the nick of time as well. Here comes Depp with an operator of his own, and guess what? The Reckoning committed too. 13 seconds, and this has to be a save.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, just got to make sure that you're keeping...
I'll take the orb, why not?
Yeah, you got to keep up that operator. Build towards that Blade Storm as well, because you're not looking too healthy. But a save. I mean, you got trapped in mid. And then at that point, this really comes down, I think, to Zeta also just saying, okay, we have no information. So instead of trying to creep back out, we have all these ultimates for the retake, right? You had the Reckoning, you had the Hunter's Fury. Let's actually group up and make sure we're not getting flanked at any point through mid. Multiple members watching different angles in mid. You've got
Global Esports to get that spike down.
And both teams are so aware of the potential lurks as well. I mean, they've kind of bitten each other in the back a couple times in this first half. Wow. But now it's just a main force pushing through.
You get a little bit paranoid, but now all you got to do is watch the front. Lightning Fast definitely does. Goes in for that jitter peek, but it doesn't quite work out. Last that much more decisive, just goes in for the shot. Now they are aware that Blaze King is up on top of Belt. Good peek though, but not quite enough to gun down the second target. So ZETA goes up ahead.
Yeah, and it was Laz holding that defuse from the box as well. So Blaze King just trying to think that it's through the screen. He can't see them already posted up into the top of the site. But unfortunately, it's just the beanie from Killjoy showing
Just
up.
the beanie.
You got to watch out for that beanie. You got to make sure it's pressed all the way down on your head.
Yeah, flushed all the way.
Yeah, you don't get fashion points in Valorant.
It's not just fashion. It peeks out over the top of some obstacles or some ponytails. Nah, not really. 6-5. That's the main thing. And again, it's just how they play back and forth in terms of space. Global tries to pull some of the attention away onto the other parts of the map, trying to divide ZETA. But ZETA stays united. And back into the A site. A sudden change in pace. A quick execute off of the null command. Russ picks up his value. Polvi now with that space goes in and finds another frag. This is Polvi not just creating space, he is actually fragging out. Oh no, but lined up! They hesitated for a second.
The comms just break down. The cloudburst comes out, but now, of course, you get the detain.
Okay, it allows for Benkai to go a little bit greedy. Picks up one, knows to pull back. Spike planted. How do you retake, ZETA?
Cove and double cascade at the ready. Now you got double structure and nano swarm as well, but GE not backing out.
Oh, they're not using util. Setting up a bit of a crossfire between 410 and the boxes. They know where Laz is. Here comes that Cove. And he's so good on these timed peaks. Benkai off of it as well, just to watch his friends back. We tie things up 6-6 at the end of the half.
Yeah, the nano swarm already being there, a nice piece of utility that gets them that passive info if they do shoot it. He shoots it, and Blaze King actually moves around the box. He knows one's on the spike, but instead of saying, I'm gonna peek, try to get him right as he goes for the tab, he just says, okay, surely it's a fake, because if not, I've got my teammate Benkai able to swing out on a timing on the 4 seconds, hides away, sees the Cove come back up, and then he walks right back in. Blaze King, this is why he gets a lot of those clutches that he's always had in SEA.
Think about the defensive side, like whether or not you want to invest a player to watch that spot. On the other hand, though, right now, with the buys, no force from Global. In fact, they're just kind of playing these unorthodox, really close-range positions. They heard something and they peeked out, and it lines up for Dep. The stack gets knocked down. Sugar Zero, Hirodon, picking up more kills. It's all down, again, to Benkai.
It's an eco. You do what you have to do. Those are the plays that either it turns into greatness or you get lined up.
But I don't know, like maybe you just don't peek or like hide or.
Well, you have to go for a timing, right? Because
yeah.
I think if you're waiting, unless you have like all Buckies and such, they're gonna check. There's no way, right?
Of course.
And I mean, sometimes some teams don't, and they pay for it. But I don't mind the peek. Here's the thing: you're not supposed to win that round, so you have to throw. If you're going to commit to something like a stack like that, you got to throw a curveball. You got to go for the wild card. And yeah, it looks silly, but sometimes it looks genius. And there's a fine line. There's a fine line, but it's not a round you were supposed to win. So I think those are the times where I don't mind it. You let it pass. Now you got your rifles in hand. These are where GE can start to showcase what do their defaults look like. It's going to be the 2 initiators on one side, the Killjoy and Viper on the other side of the map to anchor.
When you're right, Will. And here comes Polvi. Oh, instant pick off and backs off with the tailwind.
I mean, you already have the numbers advantage. Got control of mid as well.
Might as well let them trickle in, right? Blaze King hearing the footsteps, gets the timing on the peak. Sugar Zero continuing to push up front, manages to catch Russ, but how long can that really work out until Euron? What is the... I can't see that. You managed to find shots with a Guardian of all things. Here come the rest of the players from Raptors though, and they are still peeking a little bit too fast, a little bit too much. It allows for Euron to pick up yet another double. 2 + 2, that equals 4.
A great 4K, and you see him slowly getting that energy up.
Quick map.
Both
invested into future rounds.
Yeah, and GE, they have enough creds on Polvi to go for that operator in the next round as well. So that's something they're going for, right? Even if it's the half armor. Once you get that operator, things get a little easier.
It makes you think, right? Is this Marshall position up on top of yellow something that they want to condition ZETA into thinking? But the shot was already picked off, and the cascade just gives ZETA that much more security.
He's trying to just get one
Whoa.
hit. All right, just a quick reaction to that recon.
Yeah, they're trying to push off of it, distract him. Enough investment, they've pulled the rotations over. Laz might have heard or sensed it.
Well, this is, yeah, and this is just good timing from Laz, right? Is that you can at least secure that you'll be ready for the execute.
Oh, Ben.
And if they already did shift over, it's not like they're going to have time to flood the site without checking everything.
And they really got nothing.
But you can't move from GE's position. I mean, I don't blame GE. This is just Laz making a great call from ZETA, right? You saw them marshal, you saw them back up, you saw him shoot out the recon, which tells you that they want to hide information, they want to try to stay on the B
30
site.
seconds left.
And now it's just the site free.
That's exactly what I mean. Everything orchestrated perfectly to the mastermind of Carlisle or Junior or Laz. The call from it, Huron with the timing on the poison cloud towards mid as well, so that Benkai doesn't see anything on the crossing. And they managed to cut noise just enough to clear out the entire site. Now, a full pistol plus one Marshall retake, it is near impossible, virtually impossible for Global Esports to win. Well, even with the Reckoning too? We really want double digits, don't we?
Yeah, you have the lead. I don't mind this at all. Sure, it can seem a little crazy, but this is also a different ZETA division. Continue the lead when you can. We've seen so many teams in Pacific last year that try to save it for the match point, save it for the grand win, and it just never happens. So why not just extend that lead just a bit further?
So decisive. This, again, I gotta say it, brand new ZETA division. Global Esports dying to get that round loss bonus. But it does, again, extend that gap. 4-round differential. How do we claw our way back into this? Those timeouts have been spent.
Well, Operator is going to be surely the biggest factor. And it does look like it's going to be a B hold. Whether it's on top or below, that's up to him. And I don't think ZETA is going to be too concerned one way or the other. You're going to have to check that entire lane if you want to put any pressure. The thing ZETA did in the past round, though, is that while it's smart and it's a good round to do it, they plan to. Now GE always has to have someone anchoring if they want to go for a stack mid-round.
Well, a bit of a guessing game this time. ZETA not able to retrieve all too much.
This is I mean, it's a great angle to hold on that far angle, but if they're coming out of garage, yeah, that flick is not an easy one. So Polvi's really playing for maximum contact and maximum info.
I don't know if ZETA's going to push all too deep into B yet, though. They're kind of guessing as to the previous rotations, the previous positions that Global Esports held. So without finding all too much this time, they're kind of assuming and setting up for that execute into A. I don't know if it's the wisest decision.
Yeah, the high tide doesn't cover all of rafters. They have to be aware of that.
Okay, well, the frag's still just as good. Huron just walks up and takes down Russ. Lightning Fast answers back, though. But look at the positioning from Depp. He's already made it up on top of screens. And with that, Sugar Zero conceals the plant, gets it through. A bit of a wall bank coming out. Doesn't quite connect, but Huron's still just as good on the Guardian. Similar to Huron from before.
Surely you save. I mean, it feels bad, but yeah, but it feels bad, but you need this op to make anything happen in the future rounds.
Oh, he's going for it. Doesn't know the angle from below. Leg spotted. Okay, now we save.
I mean, I think if you're ZETA, you chase. You got so many creds. Trap him in.
Polvi tried to pull a sneaky.
I mean, this is a ZETA who is on the hunt. They are out for blood. They find the shot. Huron's already here. Oh, he heard him.
No.
Well, he was ready for it, but he just wants to run away. Just wants to buy time.
Nah, okay, he's managed to run away.
The greatest escape.
Whew.
Well, will it lead to anything? It's the one ray of hope that
6-11
G has now.
I mean, do you push out with it, or?
It's an option, but I think it's an obvious one. And I think there's got to be some sort of stack, some sort of push out, because, I mean, if it's just there. Okay, they will just buy up with half armors as well. So the operator's still there. So that just means you're still able to hold this one angle. You are going to push out onto pipes, under actually, an over-under setup here with Russ. And at a certain point, surely you shift the weight. Very greedy from GE with Lightning Fast pushed up this far.
Oh.
No one's going to watch this back.
Just hold the angle, maybe.
But he has no escape. He's going to get one. He gets the spike at the very
Spike
least.
down, attacker
Good
spawn.
heads up duel, good information. The rotation's coming through, but ZETA being able to anticipate these movements is just so good. And now with that spike goes down, BlazeKing tries to hold it off with the shock darts, but out in the open gets caught out by Depp, who I will not mention with the Blaze Storm. Moving forward now, still, the retake's underway. You've got mid, you've got not Snowman any longer, just mid. Benkai tries to open things up. The Viper's Pit committed to secure match point. Do you still go through or do you save? I mean, so much to consider.
It's this or match point. No matter what, you're not going to have a great round the next one, but you're not finding the early picks. It's just not doable anymore.
Polvy's gonna do the same thing, trying to hold on to this operator. ZETA can definitely chase.
He should be all right. Should have it going off here soon. So the operator stays alive, and Benkai sacrifices himself for a shot at that lockdown, and he'll fill it up. But now, you bought up those rifles. Obviously, you had to, because otherwise it's a guaranteed match point. But it's not looking like a great round. You have the lockdown. I mean, as obvious as it can be, yeah, maybe a push out with the operator, go for a lockdown retake.
I think that's the thing. I mean, with the operator, if you're playing defensively and you don't find contact, it just kind of becomes diminishing returns. Right?
Oh, they had just enough.
Rounds now.
Yeah, they had just enough to sacrifice a couple utility as well. Just go for the half armors. You got the Hunter's Fury too.
So trying to sack the play, trying to push through, get info, and then fall back, set up for the retake. It's a bit risky, a little bit gambly. Rush tries to stay a second longer to find that tag, but not quite able to make it happen. ZETA very controlled. Getting pinged and then just holding back for a second. Laz now watching mid for any crosses. This is ZETA on a whole new look, whole new level.
Laz is on the move. Lightning Fast heard him. Gets him on the flank as well.
Nice. Good pickup, and then Depp to come back in. The spike is down. They know they're good. Everyone's in position, not to mention Euron, who is holding such an angle. But good swing off of the recon. BlazeKing and Russ managed to shoot them down. Russ trying to dance back and forth. The spike still being defused and held. Benkai able to hold it all the way through. Manages to make use of that space from Russ and BlazeKing.
Okay, so you get the round, but at what cost? Dropping.
Well, you do have the null command and the Viper's Pit, but how long can you really extend this map? That is the question. 12-7 right now. All ZETA needs is one. And they are looking mighty decisive. Depp 1 point away from the Blaze Storm. Goes in to take that space up around yellow. Timing peek off of the recon. Clears out the early half of the site.
So Polvy's aware that a lurk is still on the A site. It's either him or Lightning Fast that can hold that. Polvy's going to leave it up to his teammate, regroup on B.
Shock darts to clear out utility or just to fend them off.
Oh, Polvy was ready for it.
Laz wanted to make it happen, though. If he did, then there may have been some rotations. But here comes Polvy and Lightning Fast now.
I don't know if Depp suspects that this is going to be a double. Oh, Lightning, just a jiggle. I don't mind it. Doesn't greed for the kill.
Oh.
But that means they're trapped in B.
Exactly.
Defense knows.
They have to push up front. And as long as Russ, Benkai, and BlazeKing can defend B well enough, they're going to run out of time. The pressure is on. And off of the cascade, they push up. Euron and Hiruron. How do they make it happen? All three players down. Depp now coming through. All that's left is Lightning Fast and a Russ that is running out of battery, running out of juice. Finds the angle, finds the shot, but oh god, Blaze Storm now propped up. That's a tough target to hit. Okay. Just a bit of a whiff here and there, and then Euron to secure that final nail in the coffin. 13-7. ZETA defends.